Hey, so hope you had really good food and lunch, and so thanks for being here. So my name is Viki Val, and today I'm gonna speak about KodaDot, the how to make experience on Polkadot better. And so who am I? I'm Viki, co-founder of KodaDot, and I'm the technical wizard. So anytime you need to implement something bleeding edge in KodaDot, most of the time I'm doing that. And you can find me anywhere at Viki Val, so even GitHub or Twitter. And what's KodaDot? So it's open source NFT marketplace on Kusama and other parachains, so basically in whole Dotsama ecosystem. And we are multi-chain powered. That means that we are already running on Kusama, Basilisk, Moonbeam, and Moonriver. And we are technology agnostic, so that means that we support the Remark in version 1 and 2. We are supporting runtime palettes made by Basilisk team, and also we are indexing EVM smart contracts from Moonbeam and Moonriver, and also we are talking with the Ink team from Astar. And we are bounty based, so that means that anybody can join our team, solve some issue or some bug or add some feature to our marketplace and get paid. So learning by doing the best example. And we have already 300 plus forks, 200 plus stars, and 80 plus contributors around the globe. So pretty neat. And what's the architecture of KodaDot? You might think like, okay, just a front end. That's partly true, but our front end is running on Nux 3. It's a framework built on Vue, and we are using the latest composition API, so we are up to date with the latest tech. And we are building our own UI framework called Brick. It's written also in the Vue, but we are using the neo-Brutism style, so pretty neat and strong shapes. Also, we have other services which are written in Rust. We call them workers. They are running on the serverless or CDN or content delivery network, and we are using them for pinning IPFS metadata, IPFS images, so everything which has to run on the server side. And best, we have backend, or so-called backend. It's FireSquid indexers by Subsquid team, and on the top of that, we are running GraphQL API. So that means that anybody can basically query the data which are indexed by chain. And the best and last thing, we have our own packages, and they are written in TypeScript, and we use them for minting, for API, for Subsquid utilities, so we don't need to rewrite all the code again, and conditional rendering, which is part of reactive NFTs. And yeah, say hello to Minimark. It's our minimalistic implementation of Remark protocol. And the best thing or thesis of decentralized technologies is that you should not rely on single implementation, because something could happen. Also, in the Ethereum, you have Get, you have Parity, C++ version. So we try to implement our version of Remark, and it's covered by unit tests, so we are sure that it's according to the standard. And we are heavily oriented on the developer experience. So anytime you just create a new project, you just import the package you need, and it works out of the box. And the best thing is that Remark has two versions, version 1 and version 2. And as you can see, the difference of our implementation is basically changing from V2 at the end of the import to E2. And this code is literally the same. So no more magic, it just works out of the box. And Minimark has also batteries included, so anytime you need to, for example, create metadata or create NFTs or whatever else you need, it's out of the box in the package. And finally, we have API for KodaDot, so you can query and fetch all the NFTs across the Dotsama paraverse. We have our API, and we call it UniQuery. And it's basically a query builder on top of the Subsquid. So instead of writing the GraphQL query, you just use our implementation, and we have two versions. One is the builder, and second is REST. And best thing, there is no server, so you are fetching the data directly from your client or from the user, so it doesn't need to process via the middleware. And we already support like 15 plus calls, so most of the stuff you would need is covered. And the best thing, directly in this presentation, you see the image of code dragons, and it's implemented via the KodaDot API or unique query. So this is the data right from the chain. So if somebody buys this NFT, the query string will change. So that's neat to have in presentation the NFT straight from the chain. And why is unique query so cool? As you can see, here is the GraphQL on the right. Before, you need to write something called GraphQL. Nobody knows what that is, or just few people. And on the right side, you see that using unique query is so simple. You just do one import, say that, okay, I want to NFTs from this collection, so some collection ID, and then basically you call it. So three lines of code, and you have complete NFT from the chain. And yeah, more to our vision, we try to be like cross-chain compatible. So we support Remark version 1, Remark version 2, Basilisk, Moonriver, Moonbeam, Bosom, and also EVM. And that's why we are looking forward for the XCM or XCMP protocol. And if you ever played with XCM, you know that, okay, it's kind of hard. You need to write like a lot of lines of code. So most of the people don't know what that means, because it's super verbose and super impractical to use in like regular apps. And luckily, we have Paraspell, and we bootstrap that. And it's SDK for cross-chain transfers. It's modular and easy to use, so any parachain can use it directly right now. And instead of writing hundreds of codes, you can simply wrap these calls into 2-3 lines. And it's super oriented for developers, so anybody can use it. And yeah, let's check the magic of Paraspell. So you see this code on the left. It's written directly in the same way in 3 lines of code. So parachain transfers made easy in 3 lines of code. And more to the, we would love to introduce more builders into the Sama ecosystem. So KodaDot is an excellent example, like how to build on Substrate. But yeah, we want to iterate, like for other developers, we want to bring them to the ecosystem, and they want to iterate fast. So that's why we have Subscaffold. It's a template written in Next 3 and Vue 3 with the native UI. And how can you imagine that? It's a front end with all the packages you need to bootstrap your decentralized application on top of the Substrate. And it's open source hackable, so anytime you can fork it and improve it. And Paraspell UI will be built on top of that. So you will see the real world example right into the code. And we also would love to support Ink. So anytime you would love to play with WebAssembly smart contracts, you can do that. And what's next for KodaDot? Our thesis is simple. We would like to be your single asset interface for NFTs on even our Polkadot or Kusama. And we'd love to abstract the technology from the user. So you don't need to care like if it's some remark strings, if it's like parachains, palettes, or whatever that means, or some EVM or WebAssembly smart contracts. Like we want to see your NFT, you want to interact with that and create new use cases on top of that. And all the necessary steps we would love to take away from the user. So you don't need to care if it's running on Kusama, if it's running on Basilisk, all the token swaps, token transfer, you don't need to care about that. That's super cool. And we would love to also simplify the token transfers across the parachain. So in 2 clicks, you can have the all XCM call right in your hands. And we are also brewing protocol for compatibility without various standards, all called PSPs. And yeah, we would love to also try the new things. And we already implemented the high-speed multi-chain search with Subsquid. So directly in KodaDot, you can search across the whole Powerverse. So it's nice, sleek, and easy. And yeah, we are abstracting NFTs from the user experience. So you don't need to care like which chain test run. And we are looking forward for the generative art minting. So we are looking forward for DALL-E or Stable Diffusion or Midjourney. You already use that, and how to fine-tune that. And also, we are thinking like how we can implement ZK snarks or zero knowledge proofs into the marketplace, so you can share the secret NFTs or secret resources with the NFTs. And also, we would love to check the on-chain art without need for off-chain code. So directly in the NFTs metadata, you can have more use cases. And also, we would love to check like how NFTs are interconnected to each other. So we are using the graph NFTs to scale some models across that. And your contribution simply matters, and we are looking forward for more contributions. So if you are into music NFTs or GLSL or shaders in general, or you are already have some on-chain use case, we would love to hear from you. Or even if you are building some on-chain game, we'd love to hear about you. So join our Discord, and to bootstrap your place, like bootstrap your project, we created something called Subwork, and is your best Web3 retreat in the mountains. And we created the physical space in Slovenia to laser focus on your project or what you need. And it's based in Bled, Slovenia, so couple of meters from the national park. And Bled basically is rated like a top 10 place in Europe. We are already up and running, and we already have like 20 plus visitors in the summer. And the best, we have opening ceremony finally in mid-December. So we would love to hear from you and see you in the Subwork. And don't forget to check the website, subwork.xyz, and Twitter, subworkblad. And thanks for having us today. And thank you for your contribution. You can see us on Discord /KodaDot. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at KodaDot. And these are the team members. So thank you.
Does anyone have some question for Viki? Okay, I have one question for you. So you mentioned Subwork. So what is the best plan or day you would recommend to do? Like a idea for a trip, or if someone is gonna come there, so what they should do?
They should visit our Telegram group first. You can find the link in the Subwork website. And around Bled, there are many things to do, actually. You can swim in the Lake Bled, or you can go for the hike in the Julian Alps. Really recommend, even if summer or winter. Or if you're really into bike, we can bike together. It's like really cool.
Okay, one more time, applause for Viki. Thank you, Viki.